Okay, in this video I'm going to pick up another picture here. This one has a little bit of a problem so that we're going to deal with. So I'm going to start trying to come up with pictures that have some issues so I can show what you can do with those. So I'm going to pick this little turtle down here. Okay, it looks like a fairly simple picture. But if you look carefully at the background on this, it's not uniform. It's darker over here on this edge, and there's some lighter spots in here and that kind of thing. Um, so let's see how that shows up. I'm gonna pick my palette first. This time I'm gonna pick Joanne's Big Twist. Okay. So when this gets digitized over here, we're getting some dark spots on this side because of the darker shading over here. And this is not very uniform in color either. This is the kind of thing that will happen if you like have a something that you've painted on a picture and then you take a photograph of it or something, and you'll have, a little maybe some darkened spots and it won't be quite even. Or if you're taking a picture of something that's like fabric or something that might not be quite even, and you want to kind of straighten that out. So I'm going to start over here with the picture, and we're going to look here at this section here. I change brightness, contrast, saturation, and it actually is a fairly simple fix for this particular one. If we increase the brightness in here, we're going to get more of this lighter pink. It's going to become brighter. So let's do that a couple times, and then we've basically got rid of that. And then it also cleared up a lot of the stuff in the shell, which was, kind of a side effect of what I was doing. So just changing some of these things here can really help. When you make a change here, it's making a change to this image here. If you want to save this image after you've made changes, you can click on the Save Image button and you'll be able to download it. And then you can start with that image if you want to continue on later on. So if you make modifications here, you can download and save that modified image file. Okay. And then anytime you make a change down in here to this picture, there's also an undo button here. So you can undo what we did and always start over again. Once you get to the gray, once this is grayed out, then you're back to the original picture. Okay, we could try using contrast. Contrast makes things lighter and darker things darker. So that's another possibility for dealing with this, and it does help in this case. But it looks to me like these darker spots over here are getting darker, and so it's not helping nearly as much as the brightness did. And saturation will saturate the colors more. But that's just going to darken this area over here and darken these areas, so that's not going to help with that. So it's definitely the brightness that we want to do in this one. And a lot of times you can fix little problems like this just by increasing the brightness or decreasing the brightness, or, making some small changes in here to how the picture looks. Okay, so we've got a fairly good thing here. We've got a few speckles and things that we can get rid of, once we get into the editor. So I'm going to go with that, I think. And then before we start defining, seriously doing all of our colors down here, I want to go in and define my grid size. And this is going to be, we'll do a Grafkin for this one. Let's just go in crochet. And I'm just picking this one just for the demonstration. You can put any gauge you want in here for your crochet. Okay, so now we've got that defined. And let's make it a little bit smaller. It's going to be kind of a good sized Grafkin, maybe like that. So it'll be like 5 feet by 45 inches, something like that. Now, one other thing that will help with speckles over here is changing the digitization type from sharp to smooth. That will smush some of that stuff out. So that got rid of a bunch of speckles in the background here and some stuff that was in here. So that looks a little bit better. So let's use the smoothing on this one. Let's go back over to our palette here. Right now it's got 22 colors in there, and that seems a bit excessive. So we've got, let's just count, basically what we've got here. We've got the pink, which is one, black. So pink, black, orange, and two shades of green. So one, two, three, four, five. So we should have about five colors in here. And so I would count those up and just go like, okay, let's just start with that and see what we got. Okay, so we go down to five colors and it actually came out really pretty well. The only thing that I don't like here is that instead of making this outline black, it's coming out taupe. So let's go in here. I'm just going to pick black instead. I think I would like it to be that. So I'm going to replace it with that. Now, I don't notice any darkened edges along these sections in the shell, but when it's digitizing, it is coming up with some darkened areas here, as if there's almost some kind of edge along that, the cracks there in the shell. Um, and so we'll look at that when we get that into the editor, what to do about that. I'm wondering if I do want to just have the black there to kind of offset the black around the edge. There may be some black in here. That might be okay. Okay, so we've got our colors. They've worked out pretty nicely. Once we brighten the picture, then everything kind of fell out of that. Okay, so let's go into create the project. Okay, I'll save it later. Okay, and let's just take a look at what we've got. All right, there's not a lot of speckles out here or anything like that, not a lot of speckles in the centers of any of these things, but we do have some edge issues. If we look at the shell here, we've got some edge stuff between green and black. Okay, so between this lime green and I think it's lime green, let's see what let's put our cell color on. Show cell color. Oh, it's slime in this yarn. Okay, so slime and black. So between the slime and the black, there's an edge problem here, and there's the same thing here, same thing here, same thing here, same thing here, same thing here. So let's use our edge tool. So we want to go to do the edge between slime and black. So I'm going to set the foreground color to slime, the background color to black. Okay, and we could do that with I showed in the last one, there's a floating palette here you can use. Then we'll go down here and pick our edge tool, and then we're going to click on our green areas and straighten this up. Okay, and that got all that edge. And this one up here didn't quite get, so we'll to click on that one. Okay, now, so that got all that outside edge really nicely done. And now I have to figure out what we're going to do with this black stuff in here. I think I'm going to I'm going to put black in there, but first I'm going to take the black out. And I'm going to show you another tool that you can use, the outline tool down here, to outline these areas with black in a nice, neat way. So I got one other thingy there. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and change this to that. And then what I'm going to do is do the fill spatter. Let's try fill spatter and smooth. So I'm going to click with sage in here, see if I can get rid of some of this black stuff. I did get rid of some of it. If I keep clicking, I can get rid of a little bit more. Okay, and that's about it. Then I can click in some of the blackened areas, clear those up a little bit. Oops, wrong place. That one is connected to this other black down here. So don't want to do that one. So let's go in here and just separate that out. Now I can click on there. Okay. So I got a bunch of these things done. And now we have a bunch of edge stuff going on, right? So let's do the edge between this sage and the slime. So I'm going to pick that. So I'm going from sage to slime, the edges along that. So let's go ahead and, whoops, want to switch over to my edge tool. So that'll get rid of a whole bunch of that stuff. Okay. And oh, now we have this section in here, which is interesting. Somehow that came out to be black. So let's use the line tool here to do that. I'm going to pick the line tool and I'm going to set it to about 4 pixels across, maybe 4 or might be 5 there. So that will, it can just go in and make a little bit of a line thing there. I think let's undo that last one and just do that. Okay. All right, so now it's looking pretty good.